The Young and the Restless spoilers. Kyle falls for Victoria. Jack and Diane horrified by secret crush? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates suggest that Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, might be on the brink of a shocking revelation. It's quite possible that Jack and Diane will discover that Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, is developing feelings for Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, which could lead to them being upset about the risks their son is taking. Recently, Diane and Jack chose to pause any discussions of revenge and simply enjoy their lives for a bit. After enduring the ongoing drama with Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, it's understandable why Jack and Diane decided to set aside their vengeful thoughts. Although Jack hasn't completely dismissed the idea of seeking revenge in the future, he prefers to focus on the present, especially after reuniting with Diane. Their current aim is to concentrate on rekindling their relationship, but Kyle's actions may soon disrupt their plans. Y and our viewers have observed that Kyle and Victoria have been sharing a significant number of scenes together lately. As Victoria and Kyle's relationship deepens, they will almost share a kiss on the coffeehouse patio during the week of August 10th to 14th. This moment will mark the start of what could turn into a very complicated love story, or at least a tumultuous fling. With these changes unfolding, Kyle might find it increasingly difficult to stop thinking about Victoria and the feelings he has for her. Naturally, there may be other instances where Diane or Jack could stumble upon their connection. As the narrative progresses, Kyle and Victoria are bound to be caught in the act of their growing bond. Eventually, Jack and Diane will uncover that their son is developing feelings for Victor's daughter. This revelation could shock them and prompt Kyle to receive a serious warning about the potential dangers involved. Diane and Jack might fear that Kyle's actions could jeopardize the fragile peace between the Newmans and Abbotts. The romantic link between Kyle and Victoria is sure to ignite Victor's anger, potentially reigniting the Abbott-Newman rivalry. And if Kyle still harbors any hope of reuniting with Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, he should reconsider this involvement with Victoria. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Diane and Jack might deliver a wake-up call to Kyle regarding the brewing trouble. The Young and the Restless could be heading toward one of its most explosive romantic complications. Yet, if Kyle Abbott finds himself developing unexpected feelings for Victoria Newman, a secret crush might sound harmless at first, but in Genoa City, nothing stays secret for long, and this particular attraction could send shockwaves through both the Abbott and Newman families. Kyle has never been a stranger to complicated relationships. His romantic history has repeatedly been tangled up with family expectations, old grudges, and the never-ending battles between Genoa City's most powerful families. But falling for Victoria would take things to an entirely different level. If Kyle begins seeing Victoria in a new light, the biggest problem may not be whether she returns his feelings. The real question could be how their families react when the truth finally comes out. Kyle's unexpected attraction. Kyle may initially try to convince himself that whatever he is feeling for Victoria is nothing more than admiration. After all, Victoria is confident, intelligent, successful, and more than capable of standing her ground. Those qualities could easily catch Kyle's attention, but admiration can quickly become something more. Perhaps Kyle starts seeking Victoria's company without realizing it. A business conversation could turn into a late-night heart-to-heart. A casual meeting could become something he looks forward to. Before long, Kyle might begin noticing little things about Victoria that he never paid attention to before. And that's when the trouble begins. Kyle could find himself questioning why Victoria's opinion suddenly matters so much to him. Why does he care whether she is impressed with him? Why does he feel jealous when someone else captures her attention? The answers might be uncomfortable. Kyle could be falling for Victoria. Victoria might notice before anyone else. Victoria Newman is not exactly easy to fool. If Kyle's behavior begins changing around her, she could pick up on the signs long before he is ready to admit anything. At first, Victoria might assume Kyle is simply being friendly. But if he starts making excuses to see her, opening up about personal matters, or becoming unusually protective, she could begin wondering whether there is something deeper behind his behavior. The situation becomes even more complicated if Victoria doesn't immediately reject the possibility. She may not have expected Kyle to develop feelings for her, but that doesn't necessarily mean the attraction is one-sided. Victoria could find herself intrigued by Kyle's vulnerability. Beneath the Abbott name and his confident exterior is someone who has spent years trying to escape the shadows of his family's legacy. Victoria understands that struggle better than most. She knows what it is like to live under the weight of a powerful family name. She knows what it means to constantly fight for approval while simultaneously trying to prove that she can succeed on her own. That shared experience could create a surprisingly strong connection between them. Jack Abbott would be horrified if Kyle's father, Jack Abbott, discovers his son has developed feelings for Victoria Newman. He could have plenty to say about it. Jack and Victor Newman have spent decades locked in one of Genoa City's most legendary rivalries, even when their relationship occasionally moves toward mutual respect. There is always another disagreement waiting around the corner. So the idea of Kyle becoming romantically involved with Victor's daughter could be Jack's worst nightmare. Jack might immediately warn Kyle that getting involved with a Newman is dangerous. He could remind his son that romance and family business rarely mix well. A relationship with Victoria could become ammunition in the Abbott-Newman war, particularly if Victor gets involved. But Kyle may not appreciate his father's interference. For once, he might insist that this is his decision. That could create a major father-son confrontation. Jack may believe he is protecting Kyle, while Kyle could accuse him of trying to control his life. Their argument could expose years of unresolved tension between them, and Jack may have another reason to be concerned. He knows how ruthless Victor can be when his family is involved. Diane's reaction could be even more explosive. Diane Jenkins would almost certainly have her own reaction to Kyle's secret crush. Unlike Jack, Diane may not immediately focus on the romantic implications. She could be more concerned about what Victoria might want from Kyle. Diane has spent years fighting to protect her family and secure her position in Genoa City. She is unlikely to sit quietly while her son becomes emotionally involved with a Newman. If Diane suspects that Victoria is using Kyle for business or personal advantage, she could confront her directly. That confrontation could be spectacular. Diane might deliver a warning disguised as a polite conversation, making it clear that she will not tolerate anyone hurting her son. Victoria, however, is not the type to be intimidated easily. Instead of backing down, she could challenge Diane's assumptions. And suddenly, an innocent crush could become another battlefield between two powerful families. The secret could explode at the worst possible moment. Kyle may try to keep his feelings hidden, but secrets rarely survive for long in Genoa City. Someone could accidentally overhear Kyle confessing his feelings. Another possibility is that Diane notices his behavior and begins investigating. Jack could also discover the truth through an unexpected conversation. But the most dramatic reveal would be Kyle being forced to admit his feelings in front of Victoria herself. Imagine Kyle trying to explain that he never intended for this to happen. He didn't plan on falling for her. He didn't expect to feel this way, and he certainly didn't expect his feelings to become impossible to hide. Victoria could be stunned. She might need time to decide what she truly wants, especially if she realizes that pursuing Kyle could ignite a war between their families. Could Kyle and Victoria become Genoa City's next power couple? If the writers choose to take this story in a romantic direction, Kyle and Victoria could become one of the most unexpected pairings in Genoa City. They come from rival families, but that is exactly what could make their relationship so compelling.